Check, check, 1 2 1 2. Shout out to everybody tuned in. You rocking with the Enveonline podcast. You're with your host, son of a Jones, one half of this platform. And to my left,
His other half, one of Boot Camp Click's top five fans, Azar Johnson.
that's what's up, man.
Yeah.
That's what's up. So we're gonna get into it.
Mm.
Got a lot of topics. Y'all know we like to curate hip hop. We like to talk a little current events, and we like to delve into sports. And we got a mismatch of a lot of stuff to deal with because there's a lot of stuff that's happening in sports, a lot of stuff happening in hip hop, man.
Mm-hmm.
Salute the Mobb Deep, that Infinite album
Mm.
that they're gonna release on 10/10. The track listing looked crazy,
Mm-hmm.
and we're gonna get into some current events.
Yep.
I felt it was important to highlight what's going on because last week, Wednesday, September 10th, was a very eventful day for American history. It's something that I think 10, 20 years down the line, it's gonna be in the social studies book for the kids, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Um, it was an American tragedy, in my opinion. And when you look back at what happened on Wednesday, that's September. You good?
Yeah, I'm okay. Mm-hmm.
When you look back at what happened that Wednesday, September 10th, we dealt with within the first 2 weeks of school another mass shooting.
Mm-hmm.
This is the second mass shooting that us as Americans are dealing with already to the start of the school year.
Mm-hmm.
So that high school that's really not being covered, Evergreen High School, there was a shooting incident that happened where two students got hit, and then I want to say the person who did the shooting took himself out.
Mm.
So with us having kids in school, and every year we're hearing the news of another shooting in a school. There was one that happened in August where some kids unfortunately lost their life. The year prior, there's a shooting in the beginning of the year. Like it keeps happening. And
Mm-hmm.
as parents, those of us who have kids in school, when you see these mass shootings that happen, like on September 10th last week, what goes through your head?
It just insanity, man. What goes through my head is just prayers out to the parents. That is like I wouldn't wish them my worst enemy. You would never want to like get the news that your kid like something happened to your child. You know what I mean? Anywhere, but
Hmm.
especially school. I remember that was never. I mean, the worst that could happen to your kid in school is a fight. That's the worst thing that could happen to your child. Now, I mean, we're thinking about the unthinkable happening, and it's just it shouldn't be happening. It's I don't even know what these kids are thinking, where they're getting it from. That they would. I mean, it's even in the school. Let's not even say like let's just say in a different environment. You have to leave the school premises for something like really bad to pop off. It's happening in the
Yeah,
school.
that was the high schools I went to.
Yeah,
We usually heard things happen 5 blocks away. Somebody got
correct.
stabbed because it
Yeah,
happened off campus,
yeah.
or somebody got
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately shot.
Mm-hmm.
But as you said, now it's happening, and it's been happening inside the school like the last few decades. But go
Correct.
ahead.
No. That's I think it's just it's a tragic thing that happened. Um, I think it's a horrible thing that happened. I mean I don't even know where to start, how to fix it, where to fix it, how to try to control it, keep it under wraps. Like I have no clue. Like I don't have an answer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and as I started off this podcast by saying, it's an American tragedy. Like America has to mourn when our children, no matter the race, no matter their color, their creed, their religion, get shot, and school's not a safety zone for them.
Yeah.
A lot of students already have a problem going to school hungry. There's
Mm-hmm.
statistics on the amount of children that go to school hungry
Mm-hmm.
because they don't have it at home.
Mm-hmm.
Now, on top of going to school hungry, you got to worry about, am I going to make it out alive? And I don't
Yeah.
think that's what a child should be thinking about when they're going to get educated. And like you said, we don't have the answers.
Mm-hmm.
But what we can agree on, it's been a failure on both sides.
Yeah.
Don't care you're Democrat, Republican,
Yeah.
a leftist, a rightist. It's been failure on both sides because as advanced as we are in this country, there seems to be a lack of concern.
Mm.
Nobody cares.
Mm.
I understand something else happened. And like I said, I'll Jay-Z the conversation. something else happened that day.
Mm-hmm.
Condolences to his family, his kids. I
Yeah.
got nothing to say because I'm not trying to get Jimmy Kimmel, but I think there was space within our media to talk about both incidents. I think there was space to cover that incident that happened at the college,
Mm-hmm.
and there was space to get back to talking about how can we protect our children. And I didn't see that happening. Remember, I told you every day we talked about it. I said, "Hey, do you hear about this on the news? Is it in the
I
newspaper?"
didn't even know about it till you told me about it.
So just imagine, as Americans, how numb we are to, oh, it's just another school shooting.
That's crazy.
Like it sounds normal. Like
Yeah.
you went to the barber, got a lineup. Oh, just a
Yeah.
few more kids got shot in America.
Right.
That's where we at as a country.
Mm-hmm.
Where our politicians and our news, we know we get crap from news. We understand. But at some point, it's like, y'all didn't even try to cover it.
No. Which was shocking.
And again, like I said, I got nothing nothing too crazy to say about the other incident. You know, condolences to his family.
What happened, just as a side note, what happened to Jimmy Kimmel?
That's a long conversation.
Okay.
I'll just say,
well,
me and Ty was talking about it off air. You know, Donald Trump is boiling it down to ratings, but what it looks like on the outside as a deeper conversation is I can't pronounce the word. I get tongue tied, but like state sanctioned media.
Dictatorship. So
That's a bigger conversation. Yeah, I can't pronounce the word, like authoritism.
Better question is, okay, was this show canceled or was it?
Ty, can you correct me? Was it pulled because of ratings or was it canceled?
Was suspended indefinitely.
Was suspended indefinitely. Jimmy Kimmel.
That means
now they want him to make a donation to.
They Kyrie'd him. They Kyrie Irving him. Remember when Kyrie Irving got pulled out the NBA and yada yada yada? What happened?
Yeah.
They Kyrie Irving him. Jimmy Kimmel.
He's suspended indefinitely, huh? Can he collect unemployment?
No, it's
bad
just
joke. Bad joke at the time. Yeah.
It's just, and he's not the only one. Outside of Jimmy, like there's people getting fired from their jobs for even quoting "oh boy," using his own words, saying this is what he said. Oh, we're gonna find your job and get you fired because you're talking about such and such.
Yeah.
That's why I said I ain't trying to get Jimmy Kimmel. I'd rather give light to the students and what's going on in America on a deeper level, which is our kids haven't been safe, but the fact that we're getting to a point where now the media is not even covering school shootings, that's never gonna, like, I got 2 young kids. My kids are young. They're nowhere near done with grade school, and it's like that's not something I want to have to worry about as a parent. But here we are. You know, I thought it was important for us to bring that up. There was a school shooting that happened August 27th. Let me see if I can get the August 27th at a Catholic school, and then one that just happened. And I'm just like, we're not even a month into the school year. We barely got through open house and halfway through.
Yeah.
You know. You got any more thoughts? Because I got a few more things to say.
I think I don't know what you can say. I don't, it has to stop. Especially being a parent, and especially being older. Like, you blessed to live a long time. You blessed to be at a certain age. So I just, life is valuable. Any message I can say about this whole situation, life, especially with everything with the other situation, which we'll shortly elaborate, but life is too precious. You should be living life and worrying about having kids, grandkids, making the world a better place, making your environment better, making sure the generation ahead of you that you might not even see has better opportunities and better things than you. You should be focused on. If you focus on that, you shouldn't be worried about anything. And I don't know the condition of these kids that are creating these school shootings, but there's clearly an issue. I will say, just from experience, I've seen where, even though it never got to that level, you can see certain kids that were getting bullied, and if they wild out, I can see why they wild out. But it should never get to that point. We shouldn't be looking the other way. We shouldn't be just saying that's just what it's going to be. if there's an issue and there's something you're seeing, you should deal with it. You know what I mean? But this is crazy, man. I just because I know I don't I would never want that phone call. I don't think no parent ever does. But it's just insanity. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I think it's a bipartisan issue because as I talked to Ty off camera, I said both parties have failed at this.
Mm-hmm.
You're not innocent as Democrats. You're not innocent as Republicans. Y'all both failed on getting legislation through to at least have some type of legislation dealing with guns, whether it's the access to them, whether it's being more strict, whether it's cutting down. I don't have the answer on that policy side, but there has to be something better we can do than just making statements like, "Oh well, you know, that's just a casualty of us having the Second Amendment rights. A few Americans are going to die." I don't accept that. I don't think that should be the casualty of us having the Second Amendment is just accepting. And I forget who I'm quoting. I think somebody said it, but I'll leave their name out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that should be a casualty of us having Second Amendment rights is just to accept that we're just going to have a few mass shootings.
Yeah.
I don't accept that. Whoever made that quote, whatever. There has to be something in place because, as I told Ty off camera, anytime a tragedy like this happens,
Mm-hmm.
I know the last thing those kids in those schools aren't thinking about
Mm-hmm.
when they hear the alarm, oh, there's somebody in the school with a gun. The last thing they're thinking about is the person that's going to shoot me a Democrat or a Republican?
Right.
Is the person a leftist or is the person a graper or is the person a MAGA?
Mm-hmm.
They're not thinking about none of that.
Mm.
Neither are the parents.
Right.
They're thinking, can I get home safely? And as parents, how can I get my kids home to protect them?
Right.
So all this conversation of, you know, oh, well, whoever shot who was a leftist, a MAGA, this situation with these school shootings is going beyond political ideologies.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I brought that up to kind of tie it in with the other incident that I said I'm a kind of Jay-Z talk about it a roundabout way.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was hearing the conversation about that, I'm like, yo, this is going deeper than that. Can we get some legislation at least on the table? Can we at least fight it? Can we at least argue about it?
Mm.
I don't care. I'm not saying I don't care if it doesn't get passed through, but can we at least say, oh, hey, here's a piece of legislation and watch them go back and forth about it? We're not even there yet. We just, oh, yeah, another school shooting.
Crazy.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
And it ties into some other incidents we're going to talk about before we go into hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
So, and current events. Well, before I leave off, much love and respect to the families that's dealing with that from Evergreen High School. I believe the 2 students who got shot survived. They might be in critical condition, but there was no tragedy but the shooters. But much love and light to the families that are dealing with that. And hopefully, as Americans, we can figure out something. Now to other current event, because there's a few current events that I'm going to tie down to. So, right before this podcast a couple of days ago, and I know you saw it, there was something that happened in Mississippi.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
2 hangings. First, it was 1, but it's actually 2. 1 white person and 1 black person.
That was a white person.
Yeah, in Vicksburg. He was, I want to say, houseless, less fortunate. And they found something happened to him. And then the kid that was on the college campus.
Mississippi, yeah.
I want to say Delta State. I want to get the college right.
Is that a PWI or
I don't.
Yeah, I mean.
But his name is Trey Reed.
Mm-hmm.
So first I want to start off discussing Trey Reed. We need answers. I don't accept the coroner's report or whoever gave the autopsy said they don't see no foul play.
Mm-hmm.
Every time somebody's hanging from it, and let me say this before somebody tries to twist my comments. I'm not hoping there's foul play.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not hoping there's foul play. I'm saying I don't buy every last time they find somebody from a tree. There was never no foul play. I think that's BS.
Right. Like, how do you even feel comfortable saying that?
There needs to be, and you know why I'm gonna even go a step further? Because when there's shootings, they always find some camera footage.
Don't they?
They always find the
Don't
4K. We found the shooters a block away in a car.
Mm-hmm.
With these hangings, there's never any footage.
Nope.
Not even a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So, with respect to his family, I want to first send condolences to Trey Reed's family, his loved ones, his friends, his associates. Condolences and thoughts and prayers to you guys. But in that context, with all that we've seen in American history with our people and all that we know, what was your thoughts when you saw the news on the kid Trey Reed?
I think it's just sad. I think it's tragic. Once again, as a parent, you don't ever want a phone call about something happening to your child. Um, I don't, there's no foul play. So what are they saying? Like what?
Hey, come on, you know what they're saying.
They're saying he committed suicide.
Yeah, we ain't even gotta go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah,
Every last hanging that they found, they always say there's no foul play.
So you just
So
got up there.
there's 100. There's 100 hangings, and all 100 of them there was no foul play.
Yeah.
Come on,
But the thing is like with cameras everywhere, how did they not?
That's what I just stated. There's never any camera footage. There's never any camera footage.
No trail. Nobody has an idea. I don't know about that environment, but I would put myself in a situation where I'd be like, hey, let me just see who comes out here today where I'm at. Me and a gang of cats and just see how that works out. I don't know. You never want that phone call. I'm not waiting for no coroner's report. Especially if I know who did it or the environment, you can figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
You can figure it out. But it has to stop. And I don't even know how that situation occurred and nobody saw nothing.
Yeah.
And nobody said nothing.
So
This isn't the 80s back in like where there was no cameras and you could get away with that. And I'm not even gonna get into that conversation. But I'm just saying, nobody saw nothing. This kid was just walked up the can. Nobody saw nothing.
there was only one incident that I will bring up, and I'm gonna tie it back into this incident.
Mhm.
So a few years back, maybe 5-6 years ago, there was an incident in Indiana where a brother was hanging out with his non-brother friends in Indiana, and they were trying to tie him up to a tree, and somebody literally had to stop him. Like, you can look that incident up. Just Google Indiana kid almost get hanged, and I'm pretty sure the article will pop up. Luckily, there was some people there that actually called it out, say, yo, what y'all doing? Why y'all tying a rope around him? Like, they literally saved the dude from getting hanged somewhere in Indiana. This is like 5 years ago.
Why was it? Oh, they set him up to do it?
Yes.
You looking like I should know. I'm
No.
asking. I'm being serious.
No,
Like,
no.
They said,
I'm
"Oh,
saying
come hang out with us," and then they try to do what they
these were his so-called friends.
Mm-hmm.
But in a place like, it wasn't, because we got some people out there in certain counties. Certain places outside of Indiana, there's still cornfields. There's still like East Bumfuck. So he was in one of those places in Indiana,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess his friends weren't his friends.
Mm-hmm.
They was trying to do him dirty out there. Point I'm making is there was actually some people that saw it and intervened and literally saved that kid's life.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like 5 years ago-ish.
Mm-hmm.
So with seeing that incident, and again, you can Google it. That's not a made-up story.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tying it back into this incident where I'm not buying that everything is a self-inflicted. He was just trying to commit suicide.
Yeah.
Like, we need deeper investigations to when this is happening. Even if America doesn't want to face their demons, because I know what it is. They don't want to hold that mirror up, because once you say out of 100 suicides that one of them was actually hanging, oh shit, we back to the 30s and 40s. Like, you would have to admit it now. And I think it's more of that than, but
The only blessing I will say about the new regime that's out there, that's in the government,
mhm.
On the positive I see in it, they're coming out. They're speaking their truth, and I'm glad I know about it. It's like people. I say this one thing. This is my favorite line. People say, "Hey," and I have friends that are not a people of color. First thing they say is, they say, "Well, hey, I'm not racist because I'm a Trump supporter." I said, not all people that vote for Trump are racist, but all racist people vote for Trump. So as much as you want to stand there and play stupid and be like, well, I voted for him because of this, I get it. But you know what's on the other side of that. And if you're going to sit your behind in that room with those people, You don't need to be over here. Go over there and go be right. Trump, to be honest with you, that regime basically says there's a side. The line is drawn. You either over here, you not. That's what that is. And some people have made it clear the side they're on. And thank you for showing me who you are. You can't play dumb, deaf, and blind like Mr. Magoo with me. You can't. You just can't do it. If that's what you want to do, go over there. But to not to sidetrack with this whole situation, I can tell you now, like the thing with the Indiana thing, I wonder what happened to those kids. Why do y'all keep wanting to just do a video and want to sue people? I don't want to do that. You do something to my child, get your affairs in order. I could care less. I don't care how that sounds. That get your affairs in order. Do not touch my child. That is not one thing you don't want to do. I think that's as I got older, people say, yo, hey, you kind of don't move the way you used to move. It's not that I'm not I think about the repercussions because I've seen it. If you ever seen how a parent reacts when they lose their child, it'll kind of make you feel horrific inside. So in other words, I'd rather just either resolve the issue, shoot a fair one, and we just done. We ain't got to talk to each other no more, nothing, but we just go on with each other's lives. Do you dig what I'm saying?
That was 2020.
Right. That's crazy. So I think my whole thing is with this situation, you know what you're doing, and know the worst thing. Let me end this by saying this: no parent should ever have to bury their child. None. So I just we're not going back to that. I can tell you now. We're not going back to that. That's crazy.
Yeah, so I pulled it up just in case people think I'm capping for some views.
No.
All I had to do was Google it, like I said. I don't know if I could get this, but it's a Yahoo article that says, video shows black men pinned against a tree in what is being called an attempted lynching at Indiana Lake. Article is dated July 6, 2020.
When we go to that other situation,
and here we go. It's right
talking,
there.
And what he doing? He talking crazy?
That was 5 years ago.
I don't know why they talk. They couldn't be black when they was.
But the point I'm making is, this is why I can't buy that every last person found hanging from a tree was self-inflicted when we have this article from 5 years ago.
That's the same.
That wasn't statement. 20 years ago.
No. What I'm saying is, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I'm saying that we didn't find no foul play and it must have been. That's what they used to say before we got our civil rights. They used to say that all the time. We just don't know what happened. He must have just killed himself. Really? It's like that scene in Malcolm X. Remember when his Malcolm X's father?
Yeah.
And remember the mother wild out? They said,
what happened to Malcolm X's father?
Yeah. They said, so what, the man just went and fell on the railing and let the train run right over him?
Yep.
Really?
We all know what happened.
Yeah, so it is what it is. But we're not going back to that. We're not going back to that. Nope.
Well, I brought that up to tie into this. That incident happened at Indiana Lake back in 2020. They literally found a brother pinned to a tree, and they was trying to do him dirty. Justice for Trey Reed. I hope they really look into that outside of what the coroner is saying. The other incident happened with a person named Corey. I can't pronounce his last name, so I don't want to butcher his last name. But this is a non-black person. So I also want to shout out that incident. So Corey in Brandon, Mississippi was found hanging from a wooden tree in Vicksburg. And kind of the same thing. Like, if I'm not with it on one side, I got to be not with it on the other side. So if I'm going to shout justice for Trey Reed, I got to shout justice for the person Corey as well. I'm not buying this. I'm not. And just because that person was less fortunate, I don't look down on them. Because I'm going to talk about what happened in Minnesota, the less fortunate people, whatever. But yeah, this is crazy what I'm seeing. School shootings and people hanging from a tree. What did Billie Holiday wrote a song called Strange Fruit?
Yeah.
We got a whole bunch of strange fruit hanging from American trees. And nobody wants to bite the poisonous apple. But you know, that's what's going on in current events. You said you want to roundabout talk about that other incident?
Yeah, I think how can I speak on it? I lead the way. I think that, well, one, I mean, it was an unfortunate situation, but I think that also let me think. You know what I'm paying attention to? Not the fact of what happened. It's the reaction. First of all, what the governor said, and I want you to quote it because you know word for word. You quoted it, and I remember you saying it, and I was like he's basically to the effects of, I know he said we will find you, but he was hoping that it was somebody that
the
that
person,
looked like black and brown.
yes,
Yeah.
there's a viral clip out there after they figured out what happened. He was like kind of being half-hearted and teary-eyed, and he was like, "Yeah, man, deep down in my heart, I was hoping that it was somebody outside of Utah. I was hoping that it wasn't one of ours."
Yeah.
What he was really saying was he was hoping it was an immigrant.
Black and brown.
He was hoping it was a black or brown person that did this. But it screwed their brain when they saw that it wasn't.
No.
And again, I'm a Jay-Z the combo.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw a lot of subliminals so they can't accuse me of speaking bad about the situation.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like sometimes, and I hate to tie it in, but certain times with gangs, there's a lot of internal beef. And I just leave it like that. Sometimes gang members take out gang members in their own set.
Yeah.
And that's the best way I can do an analogy for this situation. Wasn't one of us.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't an immigrant.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't a poor Latino or poor black person.
Mm-hmm.
But yet, after that, HBCUs got threatened. Fuck, we got to do with it.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Whole bunch of HBCUs.
It did, sir.
Hey, what do we know about Utah outside of NBA YoungBoy and fuckface Karl Malone?
And Utah Jazz.
That's what I said. Fuckface Karl Malone.
You ain't gonna let that go.
That's the only thing we know about Utah. NBA YoungBoy lives there and fuckface Karl Malone. But you threatening HBCUs for something we ain't had to do with? What do you tell me about that situation? I'm gonna tie this in, and I hate to kind of sound like I'm jumping all over the place, but it was a rapper who passed away. He had some beef in Brooklyn, and he wanted to blame them. And you said there's 50-50. He knew who did it. He should have went over there and dealt with it. But you wanted to run your mouth over there.
Yeah.
Remember you was telling me about that?
Yeah.
Like, I see his point a little bit, but if you knew who did it, you should have took your ass over there and dealt with it instead of pitting it on them.
Yeah.
Y'all know who did it. Y'all don't want to go deal with it, but you want to go throwing shots over here.
Yeah.
We ain't got nothing to do with this situation. Just like that rapper.
Mm-hmm.
You was blaming him. You was blaming that rapper in Brooklyn. He ain't had nothing to do with it.
Nope.
You knew those street dudes over there that you was kind of affiliated with had something to do with it.
Yep.
But you went barking up the wrong tree and caused us the whole mess.
Yeah.
I hate to use that analogy, but does that sound like what's happening?
Yeah. 1,000%. 1,000%.
You placing the blame in the wrong pockets and antagonizing people, talking about there's going to be a civil war. And the next day, a whole bunch of HBCUs getting online threats and emails talking about da-da-da-da. And we over here like, what the fuck we know about Utah but NBA YoungBoy and fuckface Karl Malone?
Oh, you ain't gonna
nothing.
Yeah. Right.
That's what I got to say about that situation from my perspective. I thought it was bullshit. What else you got to say?
I think what was more disturbing, other than that, was, so now I'm seeing a chant about how, they're saying like, your white men fight back. Did you see that?
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to figure out who they're going to respect. Shout out to my brother Ty.
So
who are they fighting back against?
I don't know. You can go into Chicago and go do that. Why don't you go into Chicago on the projects and go yell at and see what happens? Because you're saying it from an environment on a front lawn of a yard in a protective place where that doesn't happen. I want you to go into the hood projects of Bedford-Stuyvesant or East New York and go talk crazy like that.
But who are
Walk your ass in there and go talk like that.
Who are they fighting back against? Because I'm confused about who shot. No, but who shot him?
Somebody look like them.
So who are y'all fighting back against?
I don't know.
That's why I used the analogy. Y'all know who fucking did it, but y'all don't want to go deal with the issue.
They were looking for it. They were waiting for it. So they're showing you
y'all
how they
know
feel.
who did it. You know the gender. You know the nationality.
Yep.
Why don't y'all go fight back against that?
Correct.
Forget left, right. Go fight back against that.
Yep.
But you want to come over here against people that don't know damn thing about Utah, but NBA YoungBoy and fuckface Karl Malone.
Oh my God.
That's the best I can give that situation.
Talking about fight back. Yeah, you do that. You do that.
You know.
Let me say something as a message to black men. I can't speak for black women. I don't, we're protective of them. And clearly our mothers, cousins, aunts, nieces, however, sisters, whatever. And I speak for them, but I don't speak for them. Like we protect them, but I can't speak for them. As black men, hold your head. When you walk into a room, hold your head high. I don't care if you're the only black male in the room. I don't care if it looks crazy. I don't care if you feel uncomfortable. Hold your head, stand in people and look a man in his eye. As to you young black boys, stand, you are confident. Be who you are and look them right in their eye. Look whoever you are. And as far as somebody that looks like you, to your own brothers, stop standing grilling them, looking them down and sizing them up, because there's no purpose and reason to be doing that. None whatsoever. Facts. So it's 2025. Come on, man. Come on. So we clearly know what the message is. We clearly know what the sentiment is. I'm just gonna say it one time. I'm not Trayvon Martin's father. There's no disrespect. I'm not a lot of these young. I'm not gonna cry. I don't want Ben Crump coming around me. I don't want any money. Just get your affairs in order. Do not touch my child. Do not. It'll be a wrap fast. Do you understand what I'm saying? And as far as when I walk, I because you talked about it, and it's our family. Like, you ever talk? I'm not going back to that. I'm not. Have you ever? I talked to my grandmother. God bless.
I talked to mine.
You ever hear the horror stories?
Yeah.
David Banner said something too the other. I think it was on Shannon Sharp's podcast. He said slavery was 10 times worse than those movies you saw.
Yeah.
So could you imagine it being worse? And it's even when you watch those movies, it's kind of, you gotta look away. Like yo, this is insanity. So your mind can't even imagine that severity to how our people living.
I told you I drove through Mississippi 3 years ago, going to visit my family. And I don't want nobody to take this the wrong way. I'm not talking down on the South, because Mississippi is my Disneyland. I got nothing but love for Miss.
Mm.
There's certain parts of that downtown area where our family's from that still look like it's back in 1930. Infrastructure-wise, like, you can see, like, when I rode through there, I had to go through some back roads to get to the family church where our family was from. Like, I felt like we were driving through the deep South. I felt like it was 1920. So just imagine living through it. Like, my grandmother's still alive and she's 80. Go ahead.
No, because I'm about to, it's connected to this. I saw the Auburn coach, the Tennessee coach, is Bruce Pearl. That's his name.
Mm-hmm.
And let me Google him real quick. I want to make sure I'm coming up with the right thing. I'm pretty sure I think it's Auburn. I think he's give me 30 seconds.
Yeah, Auburn coach Bruce Pearl.
So he was talking big about and shout to Ethan Thomas, because he talked about on his Instagram. Go to his Instagram.
Yeah, I'm following.
And he was talking about, did you see it? How he was talking, he showed a clip of Pearl talking very highly of another individual that is no longer with us. And he even said, would you let your kid go to school and play for this guy? Because maybe some of the
who was he talking highly about?
The individual that's
no longer with us. That incident, that Jay-Z incident?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he, and a lot of those views do not align or for the benefit of people with color. So
I see where you're going.
For him to say, he, was trying to look in a positive light. I get where he might have talked about that, but go look at your team. I don't think they agree with a lot of that. So that's a conflict of interest. I just want to say this. I noticed with other cultures, you can't dare say and do the things.
You saw how I brought up Kyrie Irving, right?
Yeah. So it goes to show the severity of, like, how comfortable they feel in doing that. And we need to shake that table. And to be honest with you, I don't even want to be at that table.
Nah,
I'm good.
I take my ball and go to another court.
Super facts. I'm good. I can't. I cannot, sir. I so can't. So I just, I just want to say I think I was looking at the reaction, and the reaction was what was more concerning to me. Like, oh, we're gonna go after them. We ain't had nothing to do with that. We was over here.
Minding our business.
That was all over there. We have nothing to do with that. But I think that you shouldn't make comments. I mean, people are saying like, yo, you shouldn't do this, shouldn't do this, shouldn't say this. This is the one thing I will say, and it has nothing to do with that situation. But I will say this. I remember when, King and Martin and Malcolm, Martin and Malcolm and Medgar Evers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who are no longer with us. And they were fighting for civil rights for people. There was a lot of things coming out. You know what the difference is? We didn't have social media the way we have it now. Could you imagine what would have been said on social media back then? And they wouldn't have been held up accountable. So to paint this narrative as how dare this is being said, how can anybody say this and how can anybody say that? Yeah, I don't think so. I think you need to think about back then. Back then, we didn't have a social media. You just had newspapers.
Mm-hmm.
But there was no social media, no outlets. Or it would have been just as graphic as the situation what I'm seeing now. And I'm not condoning it. I'm just telling you that I think we're kind of, it's just an all-around 360 of a contradiction. But let's be honest here and let's stop. I just know that when those men passed, I'm pretty sure there was a lot of people feeling the same way that didn't look like us. They just didn't have the platforms that's out now. But go ahead, you can say what you say.
I'm going to finish it off on this. Going back to that quote from that coach, because that was a hell of a point that you made about that coach, Bruce Pearl.
Yeah.
Saying what he said, praising that person.
Yeah.
When those people that play on your team who are black probably don't feel that way.
Yeah.
A civil rights leader said, we can disagree and still love each other unless the disagreement is rooted in my oppression and my denial of humanity. That person was James Baldwin. We can disagree and still love each other unless your disagreement is rooted in my oppression and denial of my humanity. So on that situation, this whole talk about, it's just a difference of opinion. Like I told you on the phone, a difference in opinion is, I like apple pie. Y'all like pumpkin pie.
Right.
I like the Giants. You like the Jets.
Yeah.
I like the Yankees. Y'all like the Mets. What a difference in opinion is not.
Correct.
Is that a certain group doesn't deserve civil rights because of your skewed statistics and how you view them.
Yeah.
And I'll just leave that right there. So that's our journey from the current events to talking about what happened. And I really wanted to use that time to highlight what happened at Evergreen High School, along with other school shootings. And for me, it's a bipartisan issue that both sides, Democrats and Republicans, need to fix. Because as Americans, we're mourning our children. And if you're not, because you're numb to it, you got to get on board, because without our kids, we have nothing. So let's venture off into what we really like to do and get surgical. Let's talk about this hip hop, baby.
Cool.
Mass Appeal has been on a run. As we talked about multiple times over here, we're in the age of the grown adult rapper that's grabbed this mic and said, yo, little boys, time to go to bed.
Yeah.
Mass Appeal done put out Slick Rick, hell of an album. We talked about it.
Yeah.
They done put out Raekwon's album, hell of an album. Ghostface album.
Yeah.
Listen to it.
Yeah.
I'm still listening to it.
Tough. It is tough, man. Bill Ford, tough.
Now Mobb Deep steps to the table. Havoc says he has a whole bunch of unreleased Prodigy verses that we never heard. They're infinite. being released 10-10. Before I get into the track listing, what are your thoughts on it from what you love about Mobb Deep to what you want to see with this album?
What I loved about Mobb Deep, they represented the gritty street era with lyrical content, and they put their lyrics and spin on it from a Queens perspective and from a New York perspective. Prodigy was just, I think he was underrated, man. You know what I mean? But once again, let me say about Mobb Deep, they had a 5 mic album.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say that again. Go listen to the Infamous, that first album. They had a 5 mic album. They're legends in their own right. They are legends. So, who am I? I'm forgetting somebody here because DJ. We always be going back and forth with it. But long story short, Mobb Deep is a classic artist. They're 5 mic. They had that 5 mic album. Every album they've dropped has always been. I want to say, if we're going off a source rating, we're gonna have our own ratings one day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do it, but if we're going off a source rating, they're probably, I want to say like 4.5, 4. It's always 4.5 with them. Always. I've never heard a Mobb Deep album that's been less than maybe 4 mics. That's the least on the least end, because the top is 5 mics. So they've been at least 4.5 mics every album. But that first album, 5 mic classic album. And it was part of Bring Back the East Coast movement. And they've always held down the East, no matter what time, what era. They've always been able to shine. And so that's what I love about Mobb.
I want to say salute to Havoc, who's still pushing the legacy of Mobb Deep, prolific producer and MC. So to see what they're going to be able to do with Mass Appeal, I just have no doubt about it. Look at the track listing. It's 15 tracks. I'll just name a few of them. Look at me. It's going to be featuring the clips. This is after the clips just came off their album.
Right.
So that's going to get crazy. The M to the O to the B, featuring Big Noise. So they keeping it Queens.
Always rips a Mobb Deep track.
Down for You featuring Nas. What you think is going to happen with an unreleased Prodigy verse with Havoc and Nas?
Classic.
That's going to be surgical, man. They got Raekwon with Clear Black Nights and Ghostface Killer. And then they got Nas again, Love the Way, with Nas and her. Just from the track listing alone, as long as the production is up to par, which I shouldn't have to say because it's Havoc and whoever else they have producing. Hopefully sprinkle a little Alchemist on there. This is going to be epic. And I don't want to rate what Mass Appeal has done because it's all been great. But outside of what Nas might do later, this might be some shit that's coming for that vibe, man.
Right.
With respect to what we've been talking about with Ghostface, with Raekwon, and so forth, what would you like to see when you what are you gonna be listening to when you get this? Like, what is your expectations? I want to say.
I think also now to coincide with that is definitely Havoc's beats are automatic. He never gets the credibility. I think they're both. I
don't think I haven't heard too many articles where they place Havoc in a producer's list.
Yeah.
Where would you place Havoc at with all the work he's done as an MC and producer? Where would you place him as a producer list?
He's in that class with like Pete Rock, Pharrell, what else am I thinking off the top of my head? Timberland. It's just too bad the Just Blaze, Kanye. He's in that. He's never had, because he had Prodigy and they were a group with Mobb Deep. So he's handling all that. But if you take Prodigy and take him outside, let's just say Prodigy sat down with Jadakiss and did a whole album together. Classic. Let's just say Prodigy, I'm sorry, not Prodigy, Havoc sat down with Nas and did a whole album. Classic. Let's just say Havoc sat down with even the young boys like Simba. I'm talking about the real young boys I can spit. Like Simba, Joell Ortiz.
A Havoc and Simba album would be crazy.
Yeah. Like, to kind of give you an idea, because a lot of people don't, I think there's been so long they forgot. Like, he did the Y beat for Jadakiss. You know, that's why. That's Havoc's beat. So what
I didn't even know
a lot
that.
of people don't know that. So my point is like, he's never been, if Mobb and Jay wasn't going at it, back and forth sometimes. If Jay would have got on the Havoc beat, you would have known. Like Diplomats, you know what I mean? Like Havoc sat down with Jim Jones and Max B. Classic. I don't think Havoc ever gets the credibility because, you know, I think them lining up with 50 was great too. But I think they've never, you know, they just been on their own plane. They've been on their own block and they represent Queens. And they were all part of that Bring Back the East Coast movement. That's what makes them legends. But I think Havoc, like what you said, allude to your question, he's up there. He's one of the all-time greatest producers. He just never, to me, even with, because if you go back, even with Big Noyd had an EP back in the day that got slept on, and I forgot who he was signed to when he dropped that. It was the most horrible promotion I ever seen in my life.
Wasn't put out right.
No, it was a banging album or banging like EP, but because whoever label he was on, it was poorly promoted. Long story, what I'm saying is every time Havoc was behind something, whether it's a Prodigy project by itself, whether it's a Mobb Deep album by itself, maybe a Nas track, whatever, he always destroyed it. He always made it illmatic. That beat was so crazy. I wish he would just sit down. Like, well, Jay's not gonna come back out, but I think Nas. I'm not sure. I didn't see him on Nas's album, but I would love to see him sit with a certain artist and just be him and that artist. You know, like what Hit Boy did with Nas.
Yeah,
I would love to see Havoc do that with somebody.
I agree. So salute to Mobb Deep, salute to Massive Pill. Keep giving us greatness because we know after this was coming. Because when they promo, I think the last two are left. There's a Big L posthumous album, if I'm saying that correctly, but a Big L album in general. And whatever Nas is gonna do, we still waiting for that Nas announcement.
Right.
So salute to Mobb Deep. And what's to come. Got a few more hip hop topics.
No. Take it out.
I gotta acknowledge because we do underground hip hop, so I gotta shout it out. One of my favorite rappers from that BBB Brooklyn, that Joell Ortiz, man. Salute to him. He's always been an incredible MC.
Facts.
Had the
I love to see Havoc do something with him. But go ahead.
Had an album called House Slippers. Just a lot of great albums that he put out. So he announced that he's putting out an album September 19th, and he's embracing the vinyls and CDs. Salute to every artist that's listening, because I did a take a year ago where I said, y'all artists need to get back to doing what made y'all hot back in 2005 and 10 and go hand in hand. So he's signing CDs saying, yo, when this album drop, you can buy it. Salute to Joell Ortiz, authentic MC. Next person, the Snowman and DJ Drama. Are we ever gonna get tired of them two?
Nope.
Like,
not at all.
We done heard it. Epic. He got an album coming out called Still Snowin' with DJ Drama. I didn't see the date release. Maybe I missed it. Just real quick with them two collabing. Where do you put Jeezy and Drama collaborations as far as hip hop?
Jeezy and Drama collaborations. Oh, dope, man. Good question. It's kind of like if you're looking like to equivalent of like Premier and Gangstar, Premier and Guru. Like they always, every time they get together,
we might get in trouble for
that.
Something
dope. Yeah, it's why, because it's not East Coast.
Nah, that's a hell of a. I never heard nobody say that before. So just for clarity, I asked him where would he put Drama and Jeezy. You got them as the equivalent of Gangstar.
Like they not the Gangstar group, but they always put out something. Every time Premier and Guru got together, super dope. Every time Jeezy and Drama get together, super dope. You know what I'm saying? Every time, you know, Arsonist and Dipset got together, super dope.
I feel you on that.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just, you know, I wish that's where it goes. Jeezy knows that when he does his Gangsta Girls album, it can't be nothing less than a 4-mic album. Has to be like Mobb Deep.
Gotcha.
Has to be like Mobb Deep. Yeah, he has to produce like that, and I'm pretty sure he will. You know.
So I'm gonna touch on this next thing briefly, but I gotta shout her out. Cardi B is releasing an album.
Okay, and people are gonna say, "Oh God."
No, no, no.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying people. Yeah.
I'm gonna say this. If nobody else is gonna say it in underground media, because we're not mainstream media, the way she is handling whoever her management team is, whoever the label is, the A&R, whoever's handling this is doing an A+ job with the rollout. So that's why I wanted to talk about it, because she went, her team, her management team, whoever advised her, she did a hell of a job with this rollout. It wasn't just, oh, I'm gonna hop on the mainstream media and do some interviews. She first announced, like after the court case, she was coming out with vinyls and CDs and said, yo, I'm going back to pushing out physical music. There's a theme here.
Right.
Artists are going back to physical music. Second, she got out in the streets. I got to commend her on this, because sometimes artists think they're bigger than their fan base or they're above that. And artists back in the days, 90s, when they had album rollouts, you might catch them saying, hey, we're going to be at the mall downtown and we're going to sign some hats and some shirts and some CD. She went back to that. So remember, we was in the city. I was like, damn, had we not have went to such and such.
Yeah.
She had the bodega pop out. And when they showed a video of it, it looked like easily 10,000 people outside just for a pop-up to see her.
Wow.
It went old, like they went old school with the rollout. So I got to commend Cardi B's management team, her, because maybe it was her idea, but to really treat this album like her life depended on, like her career depended on it.
Wow.
So regardless to how you feel, I got, when Cardi B did Bodak Yellow and she was showing herself rapping, I saw the spit in her. So here's my last little caveat to the Cardi B rollout. Whoever's behind this, whether it's her management or whatever. Since I'm a fan of Bodak Yellow and her spitting, like her bars, you gotta cap this off like an official rollout. Go on a Sway show and let her have at it. Let Heather B pit on that beat and let Cardi B have at it.
Yeah.
That's the cherry on the top to the Sunday for the rollout. If Cardi B goes on a Sway or whatever DJ and say, yo, put on a beat like our favorite artists used to, because all of our favorite artists used to pop up on somebody's DJ show and give us an epic freestyle, whether it was Jadakiss, Fabulous, Hove, whatever. So that's my little caveat. Salute to Cardi B for that. Now, here's my last hip-hop topic. And we got to drive up on the west side of Harlem. What was it? Was there 140th and Lenox?
Yeah.
What?
We was over there like last, what was that,
Yeah,
Saturday?
Yeah, we was all up
there.
in Harlem.
Yeah.
Salute to Harlem, man.
Yeah.
It's always great when I'm there. What's going on in Harlem, man? What are we seeing with the Godfather of Harlem, Dame Dash?
Oh, man.
And Cameron Giles.
That is insane. That got real bad. That, yo.
He up there, yo, I never hustled with him because when I was with Big L, he was crying in the car.
He said, yo, he said they do a checkpoint. If anybody knows, and nobody knows what a checkpoint is, it's basically where the cops are like checking registrations and inspections. And if you don't have that, they're going to pull you right over. I've seen that before. So long story short, he said he's with Ella and Cam in the car. He said, Cam in the back. He says, yo, I told him, he said, yo, man, I got like 2 bricks in the car. So if they pull us out, but I'm going to take the hit if they do it. So he said, Cam starts crying, talking about, yo, I can't do no time. He said, yo, if I go to jail, I'm going to go into PC.
And Cameron, of course, denied it.
Yeah.
He said, man,
really?
yo, you lying through your gums, not
Right.
even your teeth, because your dentures is falling out.
Okay, so whether David saw the truth or not, he also said that Lil C's was lying when that videotape showed the truth. But I'm gonna leave that alone. But so what I'm saying is that
Cameron said Little C's was lying?
Remember when C's, for people that don't know, at one point in time, the Junior Mafia had an issue with Dipset. Really, it was one individual that was running his mouth. And they caught him up there in the park in his own hood and mollywopped him. It's all on camera. So I'm not dissing the person or whatever, how they want to take it. Who cares? Point I'm making is there was another person there that was there, i.e. Cameron, and it looked like he was going right towards the action and somebody swung and he backed up Then he kind of just bounced out and he ran. So I'm just saying, when he got addressed, he said, "Oh, it was edited footage and it didn't." Come on, man. Can we just be honest? Come on, man. And I love Cam, but come on, son. Just admit it. You got caught slipping. Y'all got out there and y'all ran out of there. Got out of Dodge. This is before you was with The Rock. Point I'm making is, where I'm going back with this is that, Dame had made that clear. And then he talked about how Cam's not being loyal to him. I think Dame is taking it the wrong way, though. I think because all Cam said initially was, yo, you kind of was overspending and doing whatever. And nobody really knows the truth because we weren't there. So there's Dame's perspective and there's Cam's perspective. Cam was just basically telling you his perspective from what he saw. Dame, from the outside looking in, Dame took it for what it was and took it as a diss. And I don't think he was dissing him. But to make a long story short, I think it's sad. It's bad because if you look at it, none of them are getting along. Jim and Cam don't get along. Jim and Dame don't get along. And Cam and Dame don't get along. And I think the whole Dipset, even with the affiliates, don't even really rock with each other no more. It's just sad. It's sad.
Harlem, man. J.R. Ryder, where you at, dog? Can you drop a mixtape or something? Because right now, Harlem's taking some serious L's, man.
Hell, real, all of them.
We need something from Harlem. But
40 Cal, all of them.
Is this... Because they ain't been right since the verses, man. They ain't been right since the verses.
Oh, my God. The Locks... Oh, God. Locks destroyed them.
I'll say this, and then got to move on to a next topic. I do like the approach that Cameron said, where he said, yo, I understand what you're saying, but yo, me and 50 are grown men now. What happened back in 2006, we're trying to move on and get money.
Yeah.
That's the part that I agree with.
Yeah.
Cam is like, yo, dog, I'm in my mid-40s, late 40s, 50 is almost 50. We've put that to the side. Nobody died. Nobody got locked up. Now we moved on with this paid in full situation, and we're going to be making money and moves for the culture. Same thing he said about the Jay-Z situation with going on stage with him. He said, yo, we moved on from that. So I like to see the growth because that's telling me maybe there are some things we can get past as a culture as grown men. Like, if nobody got hurt and it's 20 years done went by, why can't we move past, especially if there's money involved? That's the part I would like to see Dame grow better at.
Yeah.
And I'll leave that there.
I think with Dame also, too, and it's not just Dame and Cam, but we're going to elaborate more on this. Even with T was talking about this earlier, he gets on the radio with Power 105, and he's going back and forth, and he's not really elaborating on what he needs to elaborate. If you and Charlamagne want to just sit there and throw jabs at each other, y'all need to just do a podcast and go do that. But
yeah, like a separate podcast.
When you're on a radio station doing that and we're listening to try to hit the jewels from you, we can't listen. Yeah, we're not getting it. And that's the whole point of you doing it.
Well, how much jewels is really being dropped if there's a whole Rico coming down the pipeline? Maybe I'll say that for later. But
yeah,
you can go back.
Let me say this about this. I think at least with Dame, and let me give this, and there's a few jewels I want to drop. I think what makes him salty is, and I don't want to say salty. I think what makes him feel away, and this is just my perspective. I think when he was on top, he was in those rooms with people telling him, "Take those guys publishing, give us the deal. We'll lock them in. We'll take Jay's whole thing. We're gonna get his whole catalog. We'll lock him in. We'll give you money on the back end. Cameron, Beanie, we'll do all that." And I think he never did that. And I think when he looks back at it now, he sees those same people over there with those people that was trying to snake them and trying to talk him to do it. And he didn't want to do it. So I think he's looking at it now like y'all is y'all over there with the people that was trying to tell me to snake y'all. On the flip side too, with Cam and all them, I get it what he's saying. I think that, let me say this, nobody's innocent in this whole situation.
No.
So I think with Jay, even though Bleak's blind loyalty, because I hear Bleak sometimes talk, I be kind of looking like, really, Bleak? Like, he's like, yeah, Jay's this, and, he's the big homie. And Bleak will never talk bad about Jay. But I don't think Jay-Z's innocent either. But in all this to say all this around, it's sad that all got ripped apart. Because they were on top, and it's sad that it all got ripped apart because maybe one person wasn't doing something that didn't get along. But if had you all kept it all in with under the umbrella and just independently did y'all things, it would have been straight. Y'all still been on top. Y'all would have still been on top. You get what I'm saying? As far as like with the paid in full and all that, like even with that, I kind of feel away because I'm kind of looking at Dame like, dog, that movie came out years ago.
20 years
You were
ago.
supposed to do a sequel with Kevin Childs. Whatever happened to that? We still don't know nothing about that. So if 50's gonna do like an episode, and shouts out to 50 Cent. Let me do a side shout out. Shouts out to 50 Cent because he's not, Dame said, oh, Cam 50's your boss or whatever. I don't agree with that, and that's for Dame's own opinion. But shouts out to 50 Cent for what he's doing too.
We're gonna talk about that.
Nobody said, well, I'm gonna leave that alone. Okay.
Yeah.
But the point I'm making is that at the end of the day, it's just sad, and I want Dame to win. But this going back and forth with Cameron is bad, man. It's really bad.
Yeah.
It's really bad. And I just wanted to I wish it would stop. It needs to stop. Y'all going back and forth where he even brought up with True Life punching him in the face. He said, when True Life punched you in your face, I asked my cousin, I asked him why y'all ain't gonna do nothing when he ran down on him like that. He said, because he wasn't gonna fight for himself, so I wasn't gonna fight for him either. Like he blew it up back then. I see the jabs going, and I'm like, oh God, you know what I'm saying? So, it's just bad, man. And I hope that at some point they resolve it. I mean, because Jim and Dame haven't talked in years.
Yeah,
it's been years. So
On a side note, I know I said Harlem's taking a lot of losses. I want to shout something out real quick because we do talk hip hop, a lot of underground hip hop. Harlem did catch a big win in battle rap. So I got to shout this out. I'm a big battle rap fan because it's underground hip hop and I feel it's the purest form of hip hop. Murder Mook. If you into battle rap, then you already know who Murder Mook is. He represents Harlem all day. And he had an epic battle with Hitman Holla. And boy, oh boy, Murder Mook, a 20-year veteran in battle rap, was looking like LeBron James for the Lakers.
Really?
Sober, clear mind, surgical on that. And I just want to shout him out real quick because I want to give people their flowers while they're still alive. I don't want to wait until he steps away from the game and now everybody's a Murder Mook fan. Did your thing on that battle. Everybody got him winning. I watched it 3 times. He won. So Harlem did catch a win, i.e. Murder Mook. And watching him put on for the culture of hip hop. Since we do a podcast talking music, we got to shout out all aspects, not just the big MCs and the albums, even down to the battle rap. So if I'm going to talk about Harlem, I got to bring up Murder Mook. You represented Harlem very well. You represented hip hop culture. Because in battle rap, you got people up there forgetting their lines and not preparing. So to see you as a 20-year vet, elevating your game as an MC, as a fan, that's all we ask for, is for you guys to continue to elevate the game, which you continue to do. Same thing when y'all did the campaign for the brick sneakers for that BMX biker, him and Loaded Lux. They elevated the game of hip hop, of battle rap. So while Murder Mook can still smell it, while he's still alive to appreciate it, big salute to one of the GOATs in hip hop and battle rap. We got to give it to him. He's out there moving like LeBron and the Lakers, and the only thing that's going to stop him is him when he wants to step away. Salute the Murder Mook. You represented Harlem very well.
Respect.
So got 2 more topics before we switch. I felt that this was important because we talk a lot of stuff in intra-community. And one of the biggest things that I saw, hip-hop, but really just community-based, was Hocus for a Fifth. And I was sending you those clips.
Okay, yeah.
I think we got 10 minutes for this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hocus for a Fifth, who's from the Bronx. He's from the Bronx, correct?
Yeah.
Did the Drop My Flag challenge. Now, we always talk positive and negative about a lot of stuff. So when somebody does something positive like this, everybody in hip-hop media needs to echo it. If we could talk about the BS, then we can talk about the positive stuff. for Hocus 4/5 to pit a national Drop My Flag challenges. And for those of you who haven't put it together, it's pretty much telling gang members, like, yo, it's time to grow up. You in your 30s and 40s, let's elevate beyond gang culture. And I'm sorry, that should be the biggest topic in hip hop in our communities right now. Is a black brother from our community that we know who looks like us is saying, yo, all right, let's drop our flags peacefully. What is your thoughts on that?
I think that's definitely a big step up. I think that's what's up. I think that's it been need to be said. It ain't benefiting nothing to do that.
Ain't no wins from gang wars.
That comes from let me tell you something. It comes from a lot of fatherless homes. It comes from, them feeling like, yo, there's no way out, poverty. But if we create a table and stick together, we gonna win. Them gangs ain't creating that. They all they do is preach. Like Nipsey Hussle's crew. There's nobody bigger than this set. How'd that work out?
Where's Big U at right now?
In jail.
Where's Suge Knight at?
In jail.
Where's a lot of them OGs like? And I don't want to say this in a disrespectful way. What was his name? Monster Cody.
In
a
jail.
lot. No. A lot of those OGs like Monster Cody died homeless. So some of those OGs that actually made it to 60 and 70, because there's stories on them, they're out there living in homeless camps. So you did all that gang banging to be 70 and homeless. And Monster Cody apparently died homeless.
Jesus.
So where did all that gang banging get us for the last 40 to 50 years within our culture? No matter if you're on the East Coast, West Coast, down South, whatever. So go ahead.
As far as hip hop, and I don't want to go into a rant, but it's funny how, Focus is saying this. How come Jimmy Iovine don't say that? How come Really R. Cohen don't say that? Because y'all be signing and promoting this music. How come they don't say that? You know why they don't say that? Because they benefit off of it. You know why they benefit off of it? Because they just get right out the way and let it pop off. And y'all stupid, you naive young brothers, and I'm being very nice when I say that, y'all choose to keep pushing the narrative, and at the end of the day, it's not working out. And the people that don't look like you and their kids are benefiting from it and getting trust and owning land and going to school off of all your destructive, ignorant behavior that you're displaying. Go ahead. Yeah.
And me just learning about jail towns, all those, because I live in upstate New York. I even got family in the system. I'm not going to say who, but a lot of them cities in upstate New York, the whole county is built off of the jail system. The contracts to the jail system. Right. So, like, that's a whole loophole you can dive down. So, as to add on to your point, they're benefiting from it hundreds of ways, not just in music, your ignorance, but in the jail system and in jail counties.
Yeah.
So that's why when I saw this, I was like, nah, we got to talk about it. Everybody wants to talk about Young Thug and him on the telephone, and that's cute. But when it's something to elevate our culture, everybody's quiet. Why? Because y'all don't think y'all going to get a lot of hits from it. It's not popular that a black man is saying, yo, let's drop our flags. And I want to talk to another artist who spoke up about it because he talked about it 20 years ago. It's a rapper you like, and it's a rapper I like. The brother Saigon. Saigon been talking, and it's not to take away from Hocus, but Saigon had the song Color Purple, where he talked about pitting the flags together. Red and blue makes the color purple. That's the color of blood. So he had that song 20 years ago where he was trying to he actually got a music video out. Go look up Saigon Color Purple music video and tell me what you see. He's about the only rapper to get Bloods and Crips in the same video to tie their flags together and talk about unity. So when I see Hocus 4/5 coming from a genuine place, speaking to and it's everybody talking about it.
Yeah.
He got OGs from all across until one podcaster, something 22, tried to make some comments and got G-checked by Styles P.
Wait, what happened?
Oh, I threw that alley-oop.
Yeah.
Mr. You can sleep with my wife Mr. I'm from New Hampshire, benefiting off the culture of hip hop, tried to make fun of Hocus 4/5.
Right.
Basically try to make a joke out of it. And everybody was looking like, this ain't the time and the place for you to be inputting into our business, making a joke out of us elevating our culture because you benefit off of it.
Yep.
You like having them gangbangers on your podcast show.
Yep.
From fucking New Hampshire. And I'm not saying people from New Hampshire ain't thorough, but it ain't your ass just because you 6'4". You just benefit off of it. And those naive people that keep going on your podcast is gassing your head up. So I just thought I'd throw that little jab in there.
Let me also say this to rappers. Because you know how we talked about Jimmy IV and all them, right? How come the managers always co-sign them going on podcasts and platforms like that? You ever notice that?
Yeah.
Remember how me and you talked about we're going to start calling out media? Because the NFL, don't worry, we got you. We're going to take care of you too. Don't worry, we got you in due time. We got you. Let me go back to saying, how come the managers for these artists and the publicists for these artists always seem to go on the same platform, speaking the same insanity of craziness, and it's okay? The minute it's some like an independent podcast, a black-owned podcast, they don't seem to want to deal with it. Oh, well, we'll get back to you another time. No, man. Then the artist falls off, or it's not as hot as it is, and then they don't want to do it. They want you to come over there then. Yo, come talk to us. No. Oh, you're not going to support us? No. Nope. And don't let me get started. So let me make this is a jewel I'm going to drop. You artists, start looking at your publicist and manager and wondering why you only go into certain platforms. Wonder why. That's why your album will only reach a certain level. Because you're not pushing it on certain things. They're not asking you the right questions. No disrespect to other platforms, but they don't know how to ask you certain questions about your album, where you're from, what you're doing, how'd you come on. They don't know anything. They just know what's being on.
To the point I was making, they want to ask you about your street activity to benefit off of it.
How come nobody interviewed Slick Rick when his album came out? How come nobody's interviewed Ghostface? How come Fat Joe and Jada are the only ones that can interview Ghostface? Why his manager and publicists don't want to go out? I swear to God, if I reach out to him and I don't get no response, it's either they tell you they're busy or they don't even respond to you. How come they the only ones? We can't get that interview. But I guarantee you the ones buying it. Guaranteed, the kid you had in that video, we got him on our platform. He ain't on nobody else's platform. And he has dope music. His name is Nizzle.
Oh yeah, we interviewed.
But nobody knows that
because
nobody's doing it. And there's a program director at 97 that keeps making excuses. There's no DJs pushing it. So it's on a bigger level to coincide, to circle all the way back around. Remember when me and you told you, and I guess this is why I do love with Dame. Dame calls people out. Because I saw the thing, and I'm not trying to go back there. Because, he did the whole thing with Revolt, and they keep denying it. But he showed the screenshots of what they were telling him. So clearly he's not crazy. Point I'm making is, maybe, we need to just start putting the names out and putting screenshots out of the management and saying, look, you see this guy right here? Mm-hmm. He keep putting certain artists on certain platforms and he don't put them on with black-owned independent platforms. So all this, we need to all stick together. Yeah, because now it's convenient to stick together. Because now your album's not pushing, or now you're not relevant as you was, and it's not that you're a bad person. You're listening to the wrong person. They're telling you wrong. Mm-hmm. So let me make this, and let me coincide. The put the flag down thing is a great thing, because let me tell you something. That ignorance is stupidity, and let me tell you something else. Go and listen. The whole adult thing, I'm all for it. I'm an adult fan. I get it. But I'm just wondering how you can move like that and get the interviews you get. Hell, we don't even go nowhere near that. We can't even get near that.
Oh, you talking about New Hampshire boy.
The toughest street dudes are all rocking with that guy and what he does.
New Hampshire, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep saying it.
And it's all good. You go up to them, nah, I ain't rocking with you. Oh, really?
That's why I appreciate him jumping in on business when Hocus 4/5 came out with that.
Let me tell you real quick, and I'm gonna share this story. Me and D did a magazine cover with a DJ issue. I'm not gonna say no names. DJs were getting at us about why they wasn't on that cover. We were emailing and nobody was responding. And we kind of moved on. So when you didn't get on, I don't know what you want me to tell you. Maybe you need to go talk to your manager or publicist.
Mm-hmm.
And the crazy thing about it, let me end this with that. They look like us. Just like some of the NFL media people, they look like us. And they talk to us like we trash bags. Leave that right there. I'm gonna get the screenshot of old boy from the Jets. I'm not letting that go. I'm telling you, we're gonna start exposing you. What you gonna do? Tell us no? Because you've been doing that.
So I want to circle this back around
I'm
because I don't
sorry.
want to leave
Go
it
ahead.
on
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
To circle back around what you were saying, because I interjected with that media platform, and that's why you went on that rant. I didn't appreciate him kind of making a joke out of something so huge, because gang culture has been plaguing our community since the 70s.
It's gotta go.
No matter if the Midwest, West Coast, East Coast, whatever. So I want to big up Hocus 4/5. Much love and light to whatever you doing out there. We definitely support it over here. And we hope that it gets bigger than just a trending topic. I want to see grown adult men saying, yo, I done neglected my family for 20 years in and out of jail for some blocks that we don't own, and that right now we're not even in position to own. I done lost my cousin. I done lost this. I done lost that. It's time.
It goes in kind of. Can I say something again? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Because you made a great point. It's okay to tell the stories about what happens in the community.
Nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with it. I think where somewhere went wrong was we were promoting it to be cool.
Yeah.
And it's not cool.
It's not.
You get what I'm saying? It's okay to tell a story saying, yo, we saw a dude, he's on the block, he was hustling, pop, pop, pop. We get it. We get the stories you're telling. But you when it's starting to be promoted like it's a cool thing to do, that's not. Because Saigon, as to allude to your point, has made it clear, he sat in jail and nobody was promoting their numbers. Nobody promoting like I got 25 years. They all want to go home, but they know they stuck in there. They know what they signed up for, but they G it up and take it on the chin. So,
and mind you, the dudes that make it out alive, that do they bids and that come home with the same mind, they want to leave that life alone.
Yeah.
The real dudes like the Saigons and the other people,
that
the 50 Cents that actually made it. 50 Cent might be one of the big, and we're going to talk about him next briefly before we go to our sports topics.
Yes.
He might be one of the most realist, quote unquote, former gangster rappers in our culture that survived that. Do you see 50 Cent glorifying any of that? I'm not talking about him making movies. I'm talking about in his raps, like, oh, yo, I did that.
No.
And he actually survived what y'all lie about. I'll just leave that there. You got anything else to add on?
Yeah, I think that at this point, you know, and I get it, like I said back then, you got it, but it needs to go down. The flag needs to go down. They ain't doing no promoting violence, fatherless homes. At what point? At what point?
I hate to give history lessons because y'all be like, oh, here go this ninja about some damn history. A lot of this happened from when we as a people left the South. Wherever your family was at, whether it was Texas, Louisiana, Florida, wherever, when that first wave of migration happened and Black people migrated to Detroit and we left half our family behind and went up to Detroit, or you left your family in Louisiana and headed out to California in 1940, and you landed in Watts, and you left your family and ended up in New York. We lost our sense of identity and then started clicking up and forming gangs as a means of survival. We ain't got to do that no more. I see, like as you said, when you see another brother, stop screw facing him. Just because he from around the corner and you from downtown and you from uptown and you from 63rd and you.
None of those country.
None of that shit matters.
None of those people that look like us that whether you're in R&B, country, or rock and roll would care.
No,
They don't care.
but this in general, going back to us,
Right.
when your great grandparents left Mississippi and ended up in Chicago, that wasn't a means for you to look at somebody from 63rd and say, "Yo, we about to start an endless gang war behind that."
That makes no point because at the end of the day, you don't own nothing.
Not a damn thing. So I'll
Th-
wrap.
th-
Go ahead.
There's an OG at long. Let me tell you a quick bit. So it was an OG I used to look up to, right? And I'm not gonna say his name. And he used to talk crazy. He used to look cool in the streets. You know, as I got older, I started losing respect for him because he didn't father his children. He looked cool, but in the back end, he just looked cool. That's all he has. He just looks cool in the street.
Cool don't look good at 60.
Right. So at the end of the day, you weren't fathering your children. You were doing what society wanted you to do, have multiple kids and not father them. You were being a coward. You were doing things to women you shouldn't have been doing. You were attacking your own community and culture, and you have nothing to show for it. See, like what our grandparents did, what our fathers did as being men, that's cool. And I think that's not talked about. It's not pushed and promoted. But maybe if we start taking accountability and doing our own stuff. The one thing I keep hearing about Tyler Perry and all that. If you ever notice in his movies, you all notice that all the men are successful or they're hardworking. You ever notice that?
Mm-hmm.
So as much as they want to say and I'm gonna bring it all back in. As much as you want to say he's putting on some whatever show, whatever they want to call it back in the day. At the end of the day, because there's a director that criticized him.
Spike. Oh, should I?
Oh, you can say his name.
Spike Lee.
That's what I'm alluding to.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. All those years with all that money, all those Knick games you went to, what do you own? How many buildings do you own in Brooklyn? I just want to help me understand. And you know how where it goes back to what Dame said, if we don't own things, didn't ESPN cancel his documentary? If you owned it, how could they cancel it? But yet and still, you want to run over here and talk about somebody else. Otherwise, their images are us being positive. As much as you want to say whatever, and I don't agree with some of the things, some of the movies he comes out with, I get it, and he's explained it. But let me also say, I've seen it where the majority of them, we're hardworking brothers. And we go through it. And whether they were doctors, cops, lawyers, just everyday businessmen, construction workers, he had them in there. There were positive images. Yet somehow we keep running back to the negative about it. So when I see, put your flag down, there ain't nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with saying, yo, I want to go home. I want to work every day. And let me tell you to you young brothers, and I'm not trying to disrespect women, any woman that thinks that's cool, let life take care of them. Trust me, the best thing you can do is leave them alone. Trust me when I tell you. So that's just all I want to say. I apologize for interrupting you. Go ahead.
Nah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Salute the Hocus 4/5. We're going to keep pushing that. And as you grow, we'll continue to shed light on it. So one last hip-hop topic before I head off to sports. I wanted to briefly talk about 50 Cent because you brought him up. And I wanted to give him his credit because what he's doing on the film side and on the media side, I think is starting to rival what he did in music. So it was announced outside of the paid in full thing that he's working on with Cameron that he got in shape and went and shot a movie for Street Fighter. I think there's two versions of Street Fighter that they're releasing that he's a part of, and he's playing the character. I want to pronounce it right, Balrog.
Yeah, Balrog.
Balrog.
Yeah.
And he looks in excellent shape for his age. So for 50 Cent to be pitting on this, which is for us as older millennials, I love that game Street Fighter. What was your thoughts on 50 Cent producing this and him overall? We got a few minutes to talk about it. Him overall directing these TV shows, do you think is rivaling what he put out in music?
I think let me say this to answer that question. I think I was trying to look up what the name was, as I was trying to say. I think it's dope because, I think it is rivaling. It kind of goes back to what he was doing. He's doing with music. I think when he came out, I'm not talking about the mixtapes. I'm talking about before the mixtapes. He was coming, but I didn't think he was gonna be as big as he was because I was like, yo, they're not gonna get it. And he was on the East Coast label, and that's another thing. Long story short is he believed in himself after he got shot. And they were basically trying to blackball him. When he first started G-Unit Films, he was doing a movie like Gun, and it was another movie where he had like he was a football player called Cancer.
Yeah.
He was trying to, and they were okay, but they weren't great.
He gets flack for that football movie where he lost to that weight.
Right.
They
So
say, yo, you lost all that weight for that shit to be shelved, but go ahead.
yeah, it was kind of, the movies were they were okay movies. They were dope. And even the one with the not Animal Ambition, I forgot the name of it before I self-destruct.
Yeah.
I think the movie was dope. They were good hood movies, but it was like it's like a level. It was like a B movie.
Mm-hmm.
As an A-list movie, it was probably B movies. And I was like, if this is what he's gonna do, I don't know how long this is going, how far it's gonna go. Next thing I turn on, I look at Power. You see where I'm going with this?
Power series.
Now he's talking about doing the series. So now, if you go back and look from where he started with G-Unit Films to where it is now,
he took leaps.
Leaps. So it's the same thing with the music. When you were hearing the mixtapes, you said, "My God, this guy is Illmatic." But we all know this is where it's gonna stay.
Mm-hmm.
And then he dropped the album with Eminem's label, and it was Insanity. So I think where we're seeing this go now, and it's the same thing. He believed in himself. He didn't have 50 doesn't have, like when he started Power, he started on the Stars Network. When The Rock did what's the show on HBO that was Ballers?
Mm-hmm.
That was, a lot of people were involved. That was on HBO. HBO and Cinemax is where you want to go. He went to Stars. Stars isn't the type of network, and I'm not saying I didn't like Stars before, because Stars has a lot of good quality, but to have their original series and to take it with 50 Cent, and we had no idea what we were going to open up to when we first watched it, to where it's at now, anything he touches at this point, anything he's involved in is dope. It's Illmatic. He's taking it to the next level.
And the gem that I got when I saw him release those clips is how disciplined he is.
Mm-hmm.
This man is 50 years old, still cut up in his shape so he can transform into that character.
Facts.
The dedication it takes, like Yayo said, man, we'll be doing overseas tour, and then he'll be like, yo, I got to go shoot a movie. The dedication he still has for this is unmatched. So big salute to 50. Some quick hit questions. Again, as an older millennial, that was the game back in the day, man. Street Fighter was...
Oh man, yeah. To kind of give you an idea, if you go look at the movie Juice, that's what Pac was playing. Yeah, Street Fighter. Yeah.
Favorite Street Fighter character?
Oh my God, I forgot. The one that used to freeze you on ice. Is that's
Mortal Kombat?
Oh, that's Mortal Kombat. I'm sorry.
That's the dude in the blue. So Street Fighter had the characters Ryu, Ken, Dalazium, China with the foot, E Honda, the fat sumo wrestler, Dalazim, Sagat.
Was Rondo Hayuki?
Ryu had the Hadouken.
Yes, that's him. That was my guy. Yeah. Yes, that was my guy. That was definitely my guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he used to.
Once was Sagat. He had the tiger uppercut.
Tiger. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So I think when this is all said and done, and as a film producer, you can keep going. Like, that life shelf extends past rapping.
Yeah.
He can keep producing like this till he's 70. He comes out with these movies. I don't want to say people are going to forget about the rapper 50 Cent, but it's almost like these movies come out the way I expect them. People are going to say he surpassed the rapper.
Right.
And I think that's where he wants to go. But big salute to 50.
Because he's doing the Paid in Full series.
That too.
But I remember, I don't know what's going on with Stars, and not to kind of sidetrack with that, because it seemed like him and Stars wasn't getting along, but they're still releasing the series. So I'm like, oh, they're still rocking with Fifth, and everything's still working out. But something clearly isn't, because remember, he went to New Orleans, not to New Orleans, but in Louisiana to build that studio. And now you're starting to see everything, and you're like, yo, this dude is kind of, I see where 50's going with this. And just let it be a lesson. If you look at his catalog, he tore off his catalog. The DJ that was for that, because I remember I went to that show, the with him
In
and Yayo
Connecticut,
and
yeah.
Murder, yeah. And I mean, he did his catalog. Let this be a lesson to artists. Now let me just say this on this. Let me do the Joell. He's that was 2002. Was that
Mhm.
2002, 2001?
2003, yeah.
2003, I'm sorry. 2003 when he was coming, when he did all that, and that was mixtape material. Let me make this clear to you artists. You make timeless music. Stop worrying about what's in and what's out. Make timeless music. I can go back and when I was sitting there, like he had did his album stuff. I don't think you're hearing me. He was doing his mixtape songs, and the crowd was jumping around with his mixtape music.
Mm-hmm.
And this we're in because we're 2024, dog. This is 2024. Even Buster said, to kind of give you the thing is what Buster Rhymes said, because he was on that tour too. He said, I got off the tour when he left the United States. He said he went overseas and he was still touring.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said his work after DJ said he thought he worked hard until he saw 50. He said, yo, I can't compete with this kid. He said, I had to go work harder because of what he was doing.
Yeah.
So to kind of give you a point of what he's doing, he's going to do this Paid in Full series, which is great. But look at BMF now.
We done forgot about BMF that quick.
And then Rick Ross had to be funny. Yo, I had to ask Yayo, was his man okay? He looks okay to me because he's got this show going on Fox too, by the way. I don't know if you noticed that. How to Catch a Killer.
Yeah.
So that's done. That's 50 show, right? You do know that, right? So he has that. He's doing a Paid in Full, which I don't think is going on Stars. That's not to mention he's doing his Street Fighter movie, and it's all up under his movement. I don't know what MMG is doing. Please explain to me.
Meek Mills is begging for $5 million, saying he's blackballed because he can't get funded for his book deal. That's a whole nother podcast.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
But salute to 50 Cent. We're going to transition this last chunk of time into the sports topics.
Okay.
So I quickly, before I hand it over to you so you could talk a few NFL topics and end off on Adrian Reese, I got to shout out the fight that happened between Terrence Bud Crawford and Canelo. Terrence Crawford won the fight. Canelo was heavily favored. That fight aired on Netflix. Salute to Netflix for getting it correct. Only thing I got to say is, man, as somebody old, y'all got to bring the time down. Because we was fighting to stay awake to watch that.
Mad Dog talked about
like,
that.
Yo,
Yeah,
we be nodding our head. It's 10 o'clock. We was fighting for our lives to make it.
What time did the fight start?
It started at, like, the underfights started at 8, but the main event didn't start until, like, later on that night. So, anyway, great fight from Terrence Crawford. He solidified himself in our generation as one of the GOAT fighters. People are saying that his run is rivaling what Floyd Mayweather did. And at this point with him beating Canelo, he's 38. I don't think he has anywhere else to elevate past this. If I'm him, and this is just me, I'm 38. I walked away with no head trauma. I'm undefeated. I would bow out gracefully. That's just me. What are your thoughts on it?
One, what he did is impressive. I don't think people understand. It's just
moving
like
up those weight classes.
Yeah, that weight class moving up, it can hurt you down the line. So I think it's great that he did that now. But I think if he keeps continuing, it won't get better. So I think, either he bows out or maybe a few more fights, and then you might want to leave it alone. Because that moving up in weight class, but he's the best pound for pound fighter right now. I don't see anybody better than him. And let me make this clear as a side note. It doesn't matter. Canelo Alvarez is one of the greatest fighters I've ever seen. Toughest guy I've ever seen. I still wouldn't want to see him in the street alley. So I think because of what Floyd did, people think that makes you great. That's one of the reasons. That's one of the great fighters. Floyd is a great fighter, but he's not the greatest because he's undefeated. That doesn't make him the greatest. We all know Ali was. We all know Tyson was one of the greatest. So just to give a point of with Crawford, he's right now, he's pound for pound the best fighter. I mean, the way he was moving, dog.
He was taking them punches and throwing damage.
Yeah.
Which people didn't think he could do because when he moved up, they said Alvarez is going to manhandle him.
Yeah, he's going to know how to maneuver him, and he couldn't. He couldn't.
So now I'm going to hand it over to you. I'm gonna moderate the time,
Okay.
but we have some NFL topics that you wanted to touch on.
Okay.
So first, do you want to touch on the Brown situation? Because we said we're gonna talk about that again.
Yeah, we can talk about it. What did you want to set it off, or you want me to set it off? Go
You
ahead.
can set it off.
Well, with the Browns, well, they were talking.
The great Browns. That
Yeah.
Steve Harvey said he was watching since 1964,
I feel
and
so
they ain't
sorry
been.
for him.
Because when I was coming back from the gym, I was hearing him say, "I've been watching the Browns since 1964, and they still ain't won. So how dare y'all treat Shador Sanders like that?" That's how it started off.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Well, I mean, they recently came out this past week, and was talking crazy about Baltimore, and they made all types of slick comments.
Baltimore with Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, they shouldn't have been making. And the Ravens mollywopped them, I think, by 21 points, if I'm not mistaken. I forgot the final score, but they basically mollywopped them.
Can we get straight to the point?
Yes.
How many games does Joe Flacco win for the Browns? And then after you give me that answer, I have a follow-up question.
He hasn't won any.
How many do you see him winning?
Maybe 5.
Okay, so now that we got that out the way, you got them 5 games out of 16-game season or 17-game season.
Mm-hmm.
So the next follow-up question is the $1 million question that we all as fans are asking. What is next for the Cleveland Browns? Because your 40-year-old quarterback ain't going to get you far.
Mm-hmm.
You drafted Dylan Gabriel and you got Shador Sanders, and then plus the draft class coming next, because I'm keep hearing in the background they should draft more quarterbacks. What the fuck ever, because you talked about developing a quarterback and sticking with them, which teams don't want to do. So after the 5 games, what do the Cleveland Browns need to do?
Put Gabriel in. I personally, they need to just rank ship and put Shador in. That's what the right thing to do, and the thing you need to do is put Shador in, because you need to see what you got with Gabriel or Shador. The thing is with Dylan Gabriel, whatever they want to keep telling myself. Can I say something?
Go ahead.
I to this day don't know what this kid did. I never heard Dylan Gabriel to the draft. I didn't know who this kid was.
Steve Harvey said the same thing.
I didn't know who this kid was because they picked him before Shador. That's the only reason why I knew who he was. Prior to that, I didn't know who this kid was. So to make a long story short, he wasn't even in the top. I don't know why the Browns drafted him. He wasn't even in the top. Like, you know, the draft class, they'll have like the top 5 quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't even mentioned. So I don't know why they got this guy around. But let me not go there. They should just get with Shador, see what they got with him, and say, is this a kid that we can invest in, trade our number 1 pick in Gabriel and send him packing, and let's build a team around this kid? Or do you need to go out and draft another? You got to see what you got with this kid. Or you're just going to have him just sitting over there just because you just want to prove a point. It's not going to work. And let me also say this about Stefanski. And I kept saying this before. When Baker Mayfield was there, they said that there was certain leadership qualities they didn't see in him. How's that working out? Because Tampa's undefeated right now and on top of the conference, and they were in the playoffs last year. You ran with Deshaun Watson, and I don't know what it is for whatever reason, because I don't think Deshaun Watson was washed up. I think Stefanski just ain't who he is. I think you had a great running game. I think you had something that you could build on, and instead of you making it work, you broke it. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So if it's not broke, don't fix it, and that's what you did. But to be honest with you, with Shador, they're gonna have him sitting there, and I can assure you, this is gonna be a situation where he's gonna go somewhere else, and they're gonna be looking like, why we even have you here anymore? I don't know what are these conversations they're having in the room. Yo, we're gonna keep this kid here. Shador's not ready yet. Well, you just got beat by. I'm sorry. Let me fix that. You got beat by 24 points by Baltimore, 41-17. I don't know what's up with your defense, because that don't look great. And on top of that, I don't know what's going on with the offense.
They averaged 13 points in
I
offense
just don't
for
get
years.
it. Yeah, I don't get it. Either you're going to stick with a guy or not. And what are you going to do with Watson when he comes back? So, because you're stuck with that guy for like, I think another 4 or 5 years, 3
with that contract.
3 years.
Yeah.
Because I think was it 5 or 4?
It was like 5-year, $200 million contract.
So they got 3 more years with this guy, regardless. What are you going to do? You need to see what you got. And nobody's taking Watson's contract. So what are you going to do? You're going to keep Watson for 3 years and then draft his replacement next year? It's a mess in there. And it looks bad. It looks bad. The owner, I don't know what he's thinking. And let me tell you this as a Joel. You got this stadium that you're building, that you're trying to build like an indoor, like dome type stadium in Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know how that's going to work out. Don't know how that's going to work out. Because you need to fill the seats. Me and you know this. So who are you going to get to fill in them seats? We know you have a loyal fan base with Cleveland, but who are you going to get to fill in them seats? Because if you don't have Shador and you cut him, that's going to get a backlash. The Watson thing didn't go too well, so you're going to get a backlash from that. And if Gabriel doesn't perform, you're going to get another backlash. You are literally like, you're past 3 strikes. It's like you're going to be in a longevity of mess. They just need to blow the team up, start from scratch, and figure out what they want to do. If you want to stick with Watson, that's fine. But you got to stick with him and figure it out. Because at this point, they don't know what they're doing. They done made a mess, man. And then this thing of this collusion of saying, oh, that's the thing too. Did you know about this? Did you see the reports that came out that Shador said he didn't want to go to Baltimore?
Yeah.
Because he
that sounds like they're putting more stuff out on him.
Well, I didn't have a problem with that. They said that was such a mistake for Shador to say. Are you kidding me? Really? What? He wasn't even going to get on the field. Why would he go
Not
there?
in Baltimore, no.
He wasn't going to get on the field. He knew that. Like, Lamar Jackson's the franchise. So what you going to do? At least with Cleveland, he has a chance. So, I mean, I don't have no problem with that. Yeah, I wouldn't want to go there neither. And then I had no problem with Eli said, I don't want to go to San Diego because we know Marty Schottenheimer just runs the ball. His father didn't like that, and his father had made it clear, like, we don't want him going there. Well, we all know his father don't look like Deion, so he can get away with that. By the way, you know Archie Manning like won no games while he's in New Orleans. You know that, right?
Yeah.
You know how horrible.
Trust me, I'm looking at that.
Okay, because I don't know what football royalty you talking about, but I'm gonna leave that alone.
It's looking bad over there. Before we go over to the Angel Reese, because we're gonna end off on Angel Reese.
Okay.
You got one more football topic you want to talk about?
I want to talk about Russell Wilson. I don't like. What did I say last time we did? I said, "Yo, well, let's go here." Okay. So he and I'm gonna give the quick version. So he left Seattle and went to Denver, right? And people were hearing, there was reports coming that he had his own parking space, his own whatever. He had certain privileges that other people didn't on the team. Mind you, the man went to 2 Super Bowls. I can't remember the last time Denver even sniffed one since Peyton Manning was there. So that's still here. But then he got stuck with, him and Nathaniel Hackett got stuck with each other. Can I ask you something? Didn't Nathaniel Hackett go over there with the Jets and Aaron Rodgers? Have you heard of anything of Nathaniel Hackett ever since?
Nope.
They ran his ass up out of there too, right? So we kind of know what that was. That was a mess. Sean Payton comes in, and it was clear that the owners, that who were not the previous owners when they got Russell Wilson, did not want Russell Wilson, and they disrespected him on the sideline, treat him like crap. Which Sean Payton to this day is a piece of crap for that. I don't care what he's doing with Bo Nix right now. Now fast forward to New York. So he goes to New York, and the first thing they do is, well, this is a great deal. Then they grab Jackson Dart. They said that's the future. The first thing when they drafted Jackson Dart was, the bet was, when is he going to be able to start in the season? When are we going to see Jackson Dart? Week 4, week 7, week 6. That's what they're saying. So then the season, and they're saying because, Russell Wilson is just a bridge guy, right? Can I ask you something? So, no, let me not ask you. I'm going to give you a jewel. So the first week of the season, he plays Washington. Dan Quinn, who was the Seattle Seahawks defensive coordinator for 3 or 4 years, while Russell Wilson was up there, right? He was on the team. I think he was a coordinator for 2, but he was on the team longer than that. He saw Russell Wilson every day. So he knew how to play Russell Wilson. He knew how to shut Russell Wilson down. He knew how to give him problems. And the first thing out their mouth for the first week was, oh, Russell Wilson looks bad. When is Jackson Dart going to come in? Because they lost 21-6. I.e., he comes in week 2. I said, watch. Remember what I said? I said, watch. He's going to do the whole great job. Russell Wilson puts up 37 points on the Dallas Cowboys defense, right? Puts it up on them. Lifts him up. Malik Neighbors goes ham. Now, he did throw the pick in overtime at the end to give the win. Can I ask you something? If your team puts up 37 points,
what is the defense doing?
What is the defense doing? They said, "Oh, we got Thibodeau," and I just I refuse to call another man sexy, but Dexter Lawrence, and there's another name for him. I just refuse to say that. But Dexter Lawrence, Kayvon Thibodeau, and I forgot who the other guys are. They were all supposed to be the pass rush specialists, and when we got you in a lead, we should be able. Well, it didn't work out well. It didn't work out well. They were literally, Dallas was lighting them up.
Mm-hmm.
So, salute to Russell Wilson. I hope he does great this week because they got to play the Chiefs. That defense don't look great either. If the Giants put up another 30-plus point game and that defense is horrible, they can put in Jackson Dart all they want. One, you ain't going to score as many points. And two, you're still going to have the same issues you have whether Jackson Dart is the quarterback or not. So salute to Russell Wilson. One, the Giants are if they bench him, they're going to go through another 2 or 3 years. So what are you going to do? You're going to put this kid Jackson Dart in and everything's going to change? You have problems on defense. You have problems. Clearly, you're scoring and you're having problems.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you something. Let's not forget with Malik Neighbors and his little temper tantrum rant that he had when they lost in week 1. So you guys got problems over there. And oh, by the way, I forgot to say, let me miss this part. He went to Pittsburgh, right?
Lord.
Let me, can I go back to this? So he goes to the Steelers and they say, well, Russell Wilson didn't do all that great because they still got knocked out of the first round of playoffs. I'm sorry. Did we not see what Justin Fields? Yeah, right. But let me go here. His number one option was George Pickens. George Pickens is the number 2 receiver on another team. He does straight numbers because he has another. Did he have DK Metcalf like Aaron Rodgers does? No, he didn't have that. I'm sorry. Didn't he have Najee Harris, who can't even get on the field in San Diego, in LA, because the rookie beat him out? That's who Russell Wilson was working with in Pittsburgh. I guess we caught amnesia about that. So then he goes to New York, and now in week 2, nobody's talking about Jackson Dart. I can assure you, if they lose this game and Russell Wilson puts up 30 points, they're going to say, well, when are we going to see Jackson Dart? Okay. I can tell you the same outcome was going to happen. At the end of the season, Brian Dable's going out the door with Joe Shame, and you're going to try to find. Now look at the trend here. You're going to try to hire a whole new coach and GM
for
Dart. To Dart. It's the same way you brought in Dable and Shane to try to come and fix Daniel Jones, and it didn't work. Not because they say, well, Daniel Jones is doing great right now. One, he's in a weak division. And Daniel Jones has done this before where he looks great one year and he plays like crap the next, but we'll leave that alone right now. Point I'm making is that wasn't Dable's guy. So you brought in Russell Wilson and now you got Jackson Dart, who's Dable's guy. But, that's Dable's guy. And I think he's on par for having Russell Wilson and Winston there. So you have 2 vets. My point I'm making is this is not, we need to bring in Jackson Dart. I think you need to look at, we got Russell Wilson up here playing lights out, and we got Winston here. So just in case, if anything happens to Russell, we have a vet that can come in and that Jackson Dart doesn't have to come in. They need to be all in on Russell Wilson. And I'm hoping to God that Russell didn't go in that room and with the negotiating and was like, well, we got this kid we're drafting. Because there's no way they brought him over there and said, we're going to draft Jackson Dart. If I was Russell Wilson, I'm like, if you draft him, I'm out of here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not signing this contract. So the point I'm making is they need to be all in. And whoever is saying we need Jackson Dart, go look at what Pittsburgh's doing. Go look at what Denver did. Don't worry, that'll all catch up. What Denver's doing right now, that'll all catch up. Don't worry about it. They look good now. So did Pittsburgh.
Oh, you telling the Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
Mm-hmm.
So let's end the podcast off with topic you want to talk about, which was Angel Reese. Now, before we get there, I have to show her props.
Mm-hmm.
I have to show her props.
What about Fashion Week?
Well, not Fashion Week. She just released her shoe.
Mm-hmm.
So salute to Angel Reese for just releasing a shoe with Reebok that's completely sold out. And again, we talk about the younger players pushing the game forward to release a shoe through Reebok, to release a signature shoe from where she came from. from Baltimore, Maryland, to dominating in high school, dominating in college, trend setting in the W, and now releasing a signature shoe that's completely sold out. Can't do nothing but salute that. So major props to Angel Reese. Now, with saying that, you said you had some things you want to discuss with Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky.
I think that it's a dangerous thing. Number one, they finished like I think second or third to last place in the whole league. Angel Reese is putting up numbers. So there's reports coming out. Of course, I think the last time we had reported, she was suspended for half a game because she came out and made comments criticizing the organization. Let me tell you for a fact, and I know this for 1,000% facts because we cover the league. We talk to a lot of players and a lot of GMs. And I'm telling you for a fact, a lot of players were sick of the Angel Reese show last year. That's why they shipped Weatherspoon out of there, right? Point I'm making is they have now, they look bad, but you can't criticize the team when you're scoring the points and doing the rebounds and you're the best player. Because you know why that made it look bad? You weren't also just criticizing the organization. You criticized some of the vets on the team. That couldn't have went well. You get what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden your back hurt, so you didn't play the whole game. You just didn't play the game.
She said, yo, why don't you? Y'all figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to lie. Hey, you can't suspend me for a half a game, man.
No. I see her point. But, and then not only that, this is what I'm kind of like, I get where she's coming from. She's not wrong, but she's going about it wrong. So let me tell you where I'm looking at this at with Chicago. And let me put this here. So you're basically saying, and she's like, oh, she's also talking about the strike and about how, the players should strike and we need more money. First of all, you don't even play I think they just now started playing half the games that the men play 80 games. They don't even play that. They play half of those more games, but you want just as much money as the league? That's bugged out. And let me also say this. I don't think you're thinking about the league as a whole. I want you to think about the veteran players that don't have NIL deals. I'm going to say this again, and I'm not dissing them, but Alyssa Thomas, who's a beast, and to me, even though she's notarized as a great player, I to this day don't think she gets the respect she deserves.
I told you a while ago she should have won an MVP.
From day one, I don't ever think Alyssa Thomas ever gets the respect she deserves. But that's another conversation for another day. When I look at her, when I look at Sophia Cunningham, when I look at Jewel Lloyd, when I look at Skylar Diggins, they don't have NIL deals. I never forgot. I saw something the other day when Angel McCarthy was talking about this. She said, I think, and this is the reason why she stepped away. She said, I was on the bench.
Yep.
She said, I was on the court.
I was a star player
on the
making
court.
40-something thousand, and the bench players were
Preach,
making 100,000. I saw that.
Preach. And
she said, does that make sense? She said, I was a star. She said, but there was something in the rookie deal that they negotiated that kept me stuck at 40-something thousand when I was the best player on the team, but there was bench players next to me that wasn't getting in the game making 100,000. Does that make sense? And I have to agree with her with that.
Right. So you're not thinking about those guys. And at the end of the day, you're the best player on the team, and look where y'all at. Maybe if you had an Angel McCarthy on your team, and maybe she was getting the money that she's supposed to be getting, maybe your team wouldn't be there.
Or let's keep it simple.
Yeah.
I don't know who idea it was to not re-sign Kennedy Carter, because she's across seas dropping 40 points with ease as a point guard and a shooting guard. Something y'all would look a lot better if Kennedy Carter was playing the two right now, or the point guard.
I think it's because she did something last season that did not sit well with the people up in the stairs, but we'll leave that alone.
Yeah.
Point I'm making is Chicago's a mess, and you're help making it worse. Because I could tell you I get from a place. So let me tell you what they got right now for the end of the season. Right now, you're not in the playoffs for the second straight year. Caitlin Clark was injured, and Bailey didn't play in Indiana. Somehow they're in the playoffs.
They got veterans over there. Their team construction is a lot better.
You're trying to make excuses. There's no excuse for you having Carmelo Cardoza, Angel Reese, Helly Van Lith, and there's other players on that team, and y'all can't even sniff the playoffs. Never. We're not talking about they missed it by a game, or like Washington, they didn't make it. but you saw highs and lows. You saw up and downs. But Washington didn't look bad all around. We saw it, right?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't even sniff they weren't even in playoff contention. Do you hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's not like it's going to step up. The point I'm making is it's on both ends. It's Angel Reese, you can't come out and say that. And now let me go here. The number one pick they got coming because Connecticut, who at the time it made sense, they made that trade with Mabry. So because Connecticut was so bad, they got their pick. And now they're going to have another top pick. So you're looking at what? Who? Flojane or Fudd coming there? At this point, there is no excuse. Now, let me go on management real quick. I'm going to say this. You cannot have another top number one pick and no produce. So I'm having a conversation with Cardoza and Angel. I'm having separate conversations, right? And I'm trying to figure out, is this guy the guy you need? But
coach.
The coach, yeah. Is this the coach we need? Are you liking him? But let me make this clear. If this don't work, let's just say they say, no, we not rocking with this guy. I'm like, okay, I'll get him out of here. And we're going to draft this pick. I can assure you, if I don't see production and this don't look good for next year and we're not even stiff in the playoffs, somebody, you going to go. And I'm specifically talking to Angel Reese. You definitely going to go because you got the biggest mouth in the room. So your ass is going to get shipped up out of here. Like I can't. You got to go. So if we make a move of something that you're suggesting, it better change. Because Weatherspoon's not here. Whoever's fault it was, don't know. But Weatherspoon's not here, right?
Mm-hmm.
New coach comes in, you still got the same results. Y'all at the bottom, not in the playoffs. This is now strike two. If I get rid of another coach and y'all here, and we don't get to a playoffs or not even sniffing one, you're going to go. Because now that's three people, and you're the common denominator. Do you hear what I'm saying? So I'm just giving it from both angles. I'm not saying she's wrong, but now that we're on our second coach and things are not working, let me put it to this way. An expansion team came in and made the playoffs.
And the coach won what?
Coach of the year. An expansion team, man, you got y'all, and they don't nearly have the talent that y'all got. And that's not a shot at them, but they ain't got the talent that y'all got, and they made it to the playoffs. Clayton Clark hardly played, and they didn't make it, and they made it to the playoffs. But y'all, with the biggest player in the world, who claims that she's the best player and she's the boss and she's a leader and this, that, and the third, and y'all are not even sniffing the playoffs. There's something wrong. And
I think it's roster construction. I think it's management. That's just me.
Okay, however you feel. I'm seeing your point. I'm just telling you, I'm getting from both angles. Mm-hmm. If I'm Angel, I'm like, okay, it's the coach. Or it's something we need. You're looking at management like we need to change something. Okay, well, we would change a coach. We can even change a player. Cardoza's not going anywhere because I can tell you right now that she's a franchise player. So she's not going. So if you want other vets to leave because you want to bring younger players in, we can do that too. But I can assure you, whoever we move, if next year don't get better, your ass is going to go up out of here.
Mm-hmm.
And watch when you go somewhere like, let's just say they ship her somewhere like Washington. You think they're gonna play that game with you? You can't talk to vets like that. Aisha Clark is not gonna tolerate you talking like that. Calling players out and talking about we need to get younger players. Really? Because last time I checked, you only won one title. You won one national title. And you got bounced out by Caitlin. Oh, I'm sorry. And then she came in the first year, made the playoffs. In the second year, she hardly played, and her team made the playoffs. She's on the bench. She supports her teammates, and this, that, and the third. You're not doing that. So I don't think you need to talk about anybody being a leader, clearly, because you need to take the L. You know what a real leader does? And I'm not criticizing her. I'm just giving both angles. You know what a real leader does? Is say, I need to get better. I need to be with my team in the offseason. I need to make this work. You think about you as a team. If y'all win, everybody eats. If you want to be like, well, I'm the best player and it's just everybody else over here, okay, we're going to do what you want this one time. I can assure you next year, your ass going to get up out of here.
So real quick, you said they got the number one pick
before
we wrap this up. So it's clearly because we followed the women's game. it's clearly going to be either AZ Fudd from
Flo
UConn,
Janae.
barring injury, and hopefully they're both healthy. They're both healthy at the end of the year. It's going to be Flo Janae or AZ Fudd. Who do you take?
That's tough.
Because I see a common denominator if they take one or the other.
Flo Janae.
So if
they go to Chicago, yeah, Flo Janae. Just because of the chemistry, I think they can reduce.
Now, if they take Flo Janae, there's going to have to be some movement in the offseason because they're guard heavy.
Yeah.
And we know Flo Janae is a dominant guard that likes to get up and down the court, that has handle just like Paige Buckers.
Yeah.
You're going to have to run the offense from top that way. So I want my AZ Fudd because she has ball handling ability. She's a bigger guard and she could shoot lights out.
You can't go wrong.
You can't lose.
You can't go wrong either.
You can't lose, but depending on who they choose, there's going to be some movement in the offseason.
Right.
I personally would do Flo Janae.
You're alluding to my point. That's what I'm trying to tell you. We're going to do what we need. And the reason why you can't go, and I'm with you, I would take Fudd and I wouldn't think twice. But it's just that I know that Flo Janae has played with Angel. So she knows how to work with Angel, and she knows how to. She just has that chemistry with her.
And we saw her playing the tournament.
Right.
Her mid-range game, her getting her motor, and she's gonna have another year of experience and getting stronger.
Also, who's coming out? And I don't know if she's gonna be in the first round. Raven Johnson's coming, I think, too.
Beast too.
And South Carolina.
Yeah.
So I'm just telling you, I'm telling Angel, we're gonna do everything possible, whether it's getting rid of the coach or getting rid of some players. But I can assure you, it's playoffs or your ass is going somewhere else. I'll trade you. I'll trade you anywhere. Let me say this as a side note. One more little point I just want to make. Real quick point. This is a side note deflecting from the situation. I don't know what the hell is wrong with these teams. Even though I know they didn't have a great record, I do know one thing about Connecticut. Tina Charles is still Tina Charles. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how people think she's expendable to a point where they're just saying, we're going to pick her up to just get some minutes. No, she still is a starter that you can build around. I would put her on my team and start her with my team any day. She was beasting. This whole go look at the numbers, go look at the film. She's still Tina Charles. It's just she's on a team right now that I don't know what the hell they doing. That's just the only problem. It ain't got nothing to do with her. Nothing. So let me just leave that as a side note. Maybe if you want a real vet, maybe Chicago should go look in there. But it's too heavy in the middle with Angel and Carmelo. But Camilla
Cardozo. We gotta get her name right.
I'm sorry. I apologize. But
Camilla.
Here you go.
Say it with me. Camilla. Not Car. Camilla.
I'm
Camilla
sorry.
Cardozo.
I 1000% apologize. But the point I'm making is that I don't know how Tina Charles ever. I hope she's not a free agent. If I'm Connecticut, I'm trying to lock her in. We will get better. Whatever you need, we'll get better. Because you can't let her walk out the door. God knows.
And let me pronounce it right one last time.
Oh, here you go.
Camilla Cardozo.
Cardozo.
So, yeah. Definitely agree with you on that. It's going to be an interesting season. And I hate to overshadow to say we're not tuned in for this season to finish watching how the playoffs go. Mm-hmm. But that's the major topic that we wanted to dig through. So that ends our sports topic, man.
We'll hit, I think, and I'm not making any excuses, I think for everything that we were doing, there's one more thing I need to say, 30 seconds. Shout out to Gilbert Gomez. I hope I'm saying this right.
Yeah.
From the Brooklyn Cyclones.
The manager from the Brooklyn Cyclones. High single A.
And we'll get more into this on our next podcast. But shouts out to him this season. For anybody to know, the Mets high single A baseball team, the New York Mets high single Brooklyn Cyclones, they won their World Series. They won their championship. So they are now officially 2025 champions of the league. And we look forward. We covered some of their games this season. We're going to cover more of the games even next season. You'll see more pictures, more clips. But shouts out to them. We'll have more players' names and everybody that contributed. But I just wanted to shout them out because I think seeing what I saw, I mean, it's an experience. And if y'all are in Brooklyn or in New York or Metropolitan, please go check out.
To go watch.
Yeah. Go to
Coney Island.
Yeah, go to their stadium, please, and check it out.
I got a question to ask before we wrap this up. Shout out to the Brooklyn Cyclones. Mm-hmm. You're big in baseball.
Yes.
Anybody on that roster you saw that needs to be called up?
Yeah. And I was looking right at it earlier. I want to say it's Perez. Let me get.
Perez need to get called up
Yeah.
to the show.
Yeah. To the show.
That's what they said, man. You get called
Oh
up
yeah,
to
yeah,
the
yeah,
show,
yeah,
man.
yeah. He's their pitching staff is nomadic, and like I said, I have more names later, but their pitching staff is crazy.
So if you will call somebody up, it'll be Perez.
It would be yes, Vargas. I'm sorry, Vargas, Marco Vargas. I apologize, Marco Vargas. I would call Vargas up. Yes, Vargas would be the guy. Vargas would be the guy I would call up.
All
He was
right.
beasting this year. He was definitely beasting.
So we're gonna wrap this podcast up. Thank you for tuning in, whether it's one person or whether it's 1,000 people. As I gave a quote earlier, give me a quick second because I want to pull this quote up and get it right.
Mm.
As I quoted this earlier from the great James Baldwin, we can disagree and still love each other unless your disagreement is rooted in my oppression and denial of my humanity and right to exist. And that goes for what we talked about in the beginning of the podcast. Love and light to the family members that was affected by the tragic school shootings. Hopefully we get some bipartisan legislation that we can finally have a pathway towards some type of legislation on gun violence. We talked about a lot. Salute to Mobb Deep, who's coming out with an album. Salute to 50 Cent. Salute to Hocus 4/5 and all the topics we covered. Yeah, man. We gave it to y'all for 2 hours. Thanks for rocking with us. You're rocking with your host, Deshaun, aka Son of a Jones.
And his partner, Azar Johnson.